Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. Another special one today as we approach the 2 o'clock hour here on Saturday. To my left, and that's depending how you look at the camera here, but she is to my left. We have Colleen Elliott, manager who was inducted here on October 28th as a manager into the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about her career and how this all got started. And then to my right, on my right arm side, believe it or not, it is Jim Schumacher, not Colleen, as we're looking at this camera. And of course, Jim also on that famed night, October 28th of 2023, was inducted in as a manager. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you, John.
And Jimmy, good afternoon and welcome. Yeah. Great having you both here. Kind of parallel here in the sense of the word here that I'm looking at on both of you is southwest side. I got to tell you, every weekend, our great president of the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame, Paul Rowan, sets aside this 2 o'clock hour for us to do this live from the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame, which is in downtown Forest Park. Great building, jerseys, artifacts, articles. And if we went around this room long enough, we probably would see something about the hangovers that Colleen managed and about the aces that Jim managed. I'll start with Colleen, since ladies first in our world, since our world started. Colleen, how does it start for you in the sense of starting this game? When does it start for you? Does it start at a Lord's High School? How does it start for you to get this passion?
I started when I was 7.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
that was my first beginning of it all. Started to play at Lawler Park in the city at 7, and then just from there went on, got done playing there. And
When you say 7, was it slow pitch?
it was T-ball.
Oh, it was T-ball. Got it.
From 6
Okay.
to, it was like from till 9, and then 9 up and 9 on out. It was
Wow.
16-inch.
Great, great.
So
That's great. What so 7 is the starting point. Jim, again for you, of course, the similarities here are unbelievable, meaning both managers, both players, organizers, and well respected. When does it start for you, Jim, in the sense of the game?
We were all students at St. Rita High School.
Oh, wow.
The majority of our team was that we were football players, baseball players, neighborhood guys,
Right.
and we're done with hardball for the most part.
Right.
And we picked up 16-inch.
How old were you guys? Like, you think that 14, 15 years old from the high school?
15
Yeah.
or 16,
Yeah. Yeah.
after we were done with hardball.
Yeah. And what year was it for you in the say of in the start of this meeting? Was it in the 70s?
77.
So okay, so again, the years are parallel, because I know in talking to Jim before you were here this afternoon, just off camera, that it was like 74, 75. Did you like it, Colleen, in the sense of, hey, as you get into the high school years, do you like it where you say to yourself, wow, I can organize this, I can get people together? Did you see other ladies with the interest that you had?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it.
Right.
I couldn't play enough. I mean, if we could just do pickup games in the alley, we'd do pickup.
Wow.
So we'd go to the park and the guys would be there, the girls would be there, and we would do pickup games at the park. And
Yeah.
I mean, just
There's
never
a
stopped.
friend of mine
Yes.
played for her
Oh, wow.
in Lawler Park.
Yeah, Lawler, yeah, a matter
Where
of
it all
fact,
started.
I have it highlighted in yellow, Lawler
Yeah,
Park, where,
We all started, and I started coaching, once I got done playing, you can only play till 18, so I was 19 or 20, and I started taking over managing one of it was the pigtail league.
right,
I started doing that, and then, 21, I'm like, all right, let's do our.
you had the respect of these ladies, even at that young age, because
So,
you know how it is, and I'll direct this also to Jim, meaning, you're picking a team, you're making decisions, who's gonna play center, who's gonna play left. You had that respect from them?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's been over 30 years, so I
Right.
guess so.
Yeah, right, and,
I'm
yeah,
sure y'all didn't like it, but
but it was not
It
constructive,
was, it was.
exactly.
it was.
Jim, same thing for you. So
Yeah, I
you're
would
at
say
St.
the same
Rita.
as Colleen. I think that people, welcome someone to be the leader.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't want to be rudderless, so to speak. They wanted someone to take charge.
Sure, sure. And what I was trying to get at in the sense of this is, you know how it is, let's say we're all the same age here. Well, you know, what does Elliott know and what does Schumacher know? I'm sure you had those situations, right, where for both of you can elaborate on it, where, you know, sometimes you need maybe that 35-year-old when you guys were 17-year-old to run the team. So that's the first part of this that I find phenomenal, that you guys could play and be looked up to with respect, you know.
Yeah.
Question to go back to you, Colleen, and I'll have Jim answer the same one. Was it easy for you to make a lineup in the sense of, hey, I got these 10 ladies out here, including yourself, of course. Was it easy in the sense of, okay, who you were going to put at third, who you were going to put at left, who your pitcher was going to be?
Yeah, because you only had 10 or 11 girls basically, so
Okay.
you kind of knew this girl plays third base. Where do you play? You play first? Okay, that's your position. Or you play infield. All right, well, she's a better shortstop. You play second base. You're center, short center, because you can move around a little better. So
Sure.
yeah, it wasn't hard. It wasn't.
Jim mentions, of course, the St. Rita. Were you getting girls from different areas, or were you getting just in your realm of people?
It was just around the Longwood Park area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
actually, some of the girls that ended up playing with us were moms that were, their daughters were playing
Sure,
on my, pigtail league.
sure.
They saw us out there and they said something about playing. I'm like, you play? I'm like, you're kind of older, aren't you?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. I'm like, all right.
So
And
it's like the puzzle.
it-
All
Yes.
all the pieces fit.
Yeah, it did.
Jim, for you too, you're hanging out with these guys day and night. You're doing different things. Hard for you as that guy now becomes not only the player, but the organizer. Okay, who are we gonna put at first? If this guy can't play left, how was it?
Well, there's an infamous story with our team where a guy that wound up being MVP at Nationals, MVP at Forest Park, one of the greatest players on Let Us ever, was best outfielder in the game. And we were playing in a very competitive league, and I moved him to first base.
Oh, wow.
And we still to this day joke, I'm the one that moved him to first base.
Right.
What kind of manager was I?
No, but you had that gut instinct, right?
Well,
That
we
this
had to
kid-
do something.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, you can't say, we don't have a first baseman today, so.
Yeah, we gotta put someone there to get those outs, right? But I mean, you just had this instinct, this could work, right? This could work, and or not actually defensively, or did it work because you said, I'm gonna put him over there, but he's got a great bat?
I think it works both ways. I
Yeah.
mean, of course, softball being that big,
Sure.
slow pitched underhand, if you can't hit it, you're not in the game anyway.
Yeah, you're not in the game
So,
anyway, right?
You
Right.
know, the hitter probably takes precedence over the fielder,
Okay.
but defense wins championships.
Yes.
So you gotta catch the ball.
And I think we can say that about any sport, right? The defense with the
Yeah.
great line, Jim, I remember that today. Colleen, as you start this and it gets going, and now we go into the magical years of the 20-year-olds, you keep moving forward. Now does it get to that point, like, okay, this got competitive, we're going to another level of this game.
Yeah.
I mean, so now, is it always been the girls from that area, or now do you have to go? Did people come up to you and say, hey, Colleen, I like the way you look, I want to play on your team? So, just tell me the next step. Yeah.
No, I mean, eventually you leave one park and you go to other parks and that team doesn't play anymore, so girls are looking to still play.
Sure.
And then it's word of mouth, like, hey, she's looking to play. Okay, well, we lost this girl due to pregnancy. You want to play? And then before you know it, they're part of the team. So
Right.
yeah, we did go outside.
Yeah.
Of just that small area.
Does this happen like in the winter months after the season's over? Hey, we heard so and so wants to play. We heard that Betty might want to be on the team and Sally might want to be over here. And does it come out,
I'd say probably more like in February, March, April, because then it's like everybody's starting to get their teams
posturing.
together,
Yeah.
and then, okay, you know what, this one doesn't look like they're gonna have enough anymore, so let's,
Sure,
pick up
sure.
girls and such. Yeah.
Jim, of course, you got the whole St. Rita thing going on now. Same kind of thing for you. The question I asked Colleen, how is it for you now? You're starting to move up the ladder here. This is not something that you're gonna use your childhood friends or St. Rita the rest of your life. Now you
Well,
start to progression.
as everything goes along, you get married, your job changes,
Right,
you have children, whatever it may be, that changes your life.
right.
Softball just goes farther down the road, you know, you
Right.
don't. Maybe can't make as many games, but if you're the place to be. Like hangovers, they were the place to, that was the team to play for.
Right, right.
I would always hope that our team, people viewed that. And we relied on that.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't think I have mentioned it yet in the sense of Jim Schumacher here today. The team that he managed and played for was the Aces. I have not
Yes, sir.
mentioned that, where we have given Colleen a little bit of a time in the way of, it's the hangovers that Colleen played for and managed and played
I
for.
still do.
Yeah, oh my God, Colleen, okay, great, yeah.
Keep using it. past.
Okay, we'll use it forward sense, right? Is it-
I'm
yeah,
just playing,
yeah,
but I am still like.
and right now,
playing.
let's talk about, well, and then we can always go back. You are playing and,
I'm not playing.
but they are still playing.
Yes,
right,
we
they
are still, I'm still running the team and everything.
And you're managing and making decisions now in what I call the modern game, you know,
Yes,
our
yes.
the modern
Which
game, yeah.
obviously we all know it's for women's time now.
Yeah, but no, but I mean,
Right.
in a good way, I meant the modern game, because
Yeah.
now, you know, my son tells me, oh, you know, Dad, there's no way you could have played 16-inch now. You know, you thought those Italian legs were slow then, they're even slower now, you're 63 years old, and I get into a lot of explicits with him, but. Jim, in the sense of that, yourself, you're not involved anymore, and of course, the Aces are not,
No, we quit playing basketball in the nineties. That was our last
mhm.
so-called, if you want to get together. A lot of people spread out too. They're getting older, retiring. So they move on to different phases in their life. So no, we haven't played softball in some time.
Yeah. You had told me, I think coming in here today, that you were a pitcher and a catcher.
Yes, I was.
And if you had to decide between the two, what do you think was that valuable asset that you brought, besides being the manager of a lot of these great teams?
Well, I think it was just our overall approach. We all had the same outlook. And, you know, who doesn't want to win?
Right,
You
right.
know, everybody wants to win. It's just that trying to find the right person for the right spot at the right time. You know,
Sure.
we had a lot of players that left our team to go on to play at greener pastures, so to speak.
Okay.
You know, with the major teams, because we didn't really step up to play major until the end of our time. You know, maybe the last 4 or 5 years we played with the best teams.
Well, I mean, you had some Hall of Famers on this team.
Oh, no question about it.
We're gonna
We had
mention it.
some great players play for us, and the whole team concept was
Sure.
special.
Yeah.
I think we were more of a social athletic club than we were a softball team, because we did picnics together. We had a Super Bowl party for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Was one of the hot tickets to go,
Sure.
and we always had a lot of fun. I mean, I think that's what drew people. to
Oh,
us,
I
too.
mean, you can imagine. Colleen, do you remember when this really starts to peak? And I'll be the same question for Jim. When it really starts to peak for you in the sense of, when was it in the '80s where you said, wow, you know, I got this lineup, I got this.
No, because we didn't start till 91.
Oh, 91, okay, yeah.
So I'd say. Probably like,
You know, those core years, yeah.
like early, I'd say mid to late 90s, early, and then just went from there. You know,
Wow.
you played at the one park and then it was like, all right, wow, we're actually pretty good. Let's go to this park,
Yeah.
let's go to this park, and you go on to other parks and then you're able to compete. You're like, wow, we're not that bad. And
Exactly, you know,
so-
and I see it here at McKinley, Normandy, Bridgeview, Newcastle, but these were the parks that, you know, we're going to these parks and saying, hey, you know,
Yeah.
we're pretty good and bad on the dance floor here.
Yeah.
It's just not about Lawler anymore, you know,
Right,
in the
right.
sense of that, right.
Yes,
Um,
sure.
Over the years, did you find consistency with the teams that you played for and you managed? Was there a lot of consistency where, you know, it wasn't as problematic because to go in as a manager, both of you, to go in as managers, it means a lot because this is, scheduling, patience, dealing with players, dealing with situations. I always say this when, I have this opportunity with Paul here to give us this time, that any type of Hall of Fame, to be inducted in any type of Hall of Fame, whether it be tennis to this sport, that means you have done something really big, and dedication comes with the Hall of Fame. So you think over the years it was a good consistency?
Yeah. I mean, obviously there were problems, but you dealt with them and you moved on. You had a couple beers afterwards and you discussed it and you yelled at each other. But at the end of the day, I mean, like you said, I mean, we're family.
Right.
You find a good core and you still go out with the same people,
Sure.
you still see the same people, and a lot of it was, okay, we got to a point where it's like, you still want to play? Yes, no, but we still want to be together. So let's still do it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Jim, what was it for you in the sense of those core years where you start to say, oh, we got this going on? Like I was just asking.
Well, I could say in the mid-80s,
Okay.
a lot of our guys were starting to fade away from the game. So a very good friend of mine, Victor Chaveria, who ran the Birds softball team, asked me to come on his team.
Okay.
And I was kind of in the same.
And I'm sorry, where was this out of?
Kelly Park.
Kelly Park. Okay.
And I had already played in Kelly a couple of years, and so I knew what was going on there and the competition. And Victor asked me to come in, and I was in the same kind of role where I would be pitching sometimes, running the team the others. So on the weekends, we built up a tournament team, and that was our Aces group.
Aces group, okay.
And the team during the week was called the Birds.
The Birds.
Which we won some tournaments with them too. But it was because of Victor asking me to come along with his team
Oh, wow.
that really expanded our group into the next level, which was winning A championships and moving up and playing against the big teams.
So you had this good core.
Oh, no question about it.
All the time. And a lot of camaraderie that goes with both of your teams. Get ready for your question, but now I gotta ask Colleen a question. It's gonna be the same. Colleen, tournament, as you were the manager and the player, it's still to this day, let's say when we talk about that famous drug, the beer, when you go out for the beer or get together with the ladies, what was that thing where you guys still talk about it? Do you remember that tournament at McKinley and we kicked so many, is it still come up? What's the one tournament that really stands out here? One or two of them?
I know why me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, why? There were a couple times where we were in the losers bracket and you ended up playing like 6 or 8 games and you ended up winning. You lost the first game. So, I mean, but it's hard because you figure over 30 years, there's so many, but I mean, the ones.
Is there a special one that still stands out or no?
They're all special.
Okay, great answer.
They are.
Great.
Not, I mean, every girl always contributed and you lose the first game and we would joke, okay, we're going the hard way. And we would play 6 or 8 games back to back in 90 degrees. And these girls just.
I love what you said. You come out of losers bracket, you play 8 games and you wind up winning the thing.
And you win it all.
And you win it. That is,
so those are the ones that stand out because, it's easy to win the first one and you only play 3 games or 4 games and you win the tournament. But when you lose that first game and you go, you lose that 8 or 9 and then you're playing the championship game at 5 o'clock and you got to win back to back against the team that's in the winner's bracket, you do it. It's just.
And you're scratching and clawing to get up
you're
there.
like,
Exactly.
You do it. Girls are bleeding and they're bruised. And I mean, so many girls, they wouldn't tell you until after the tournament. You'd look at their finger and it was jammed. And
these
broken. And it's like, oh my God, you didn't say anything. You just continue to play. It's like because of the love.
The love and the passion.
So that's there's so many. I
can imagine.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I gotta ask you a question because I'm one of these guys for old games, if it's a baseball game and anything else, a league ball game. I gotta ask you this question because I did the research on you. We all have heard, I didn't see it, I don't think you saw it, I don't think Colleen seen it. There was the famous home run in 1951 that Bobby Thompson hit to win, to get to the World Series when Leo DeRocher was the manager at the time of the New York Giants. Can you compare Donnie Miles' home run to win the game to that? Was that the shot where around the softball get rolled?
That was so.
I loved it. I was reading it, but
Yeah,
can you elaborate on
it
that?
was so shocking because I think our team was confident, though we fell down like 7-0 in the first inning.
Jeez.
And what it is we won the winner's bracket, so we had to sit for hours. And then we had a little bit of history with the Saints.
Okay. Bad blood history?
Not,
Rivalry?
was a little bit of a rivalry.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most pleasant handshake type situation.
Yeah, okay. A lot of how's it
So
wasn't
we-
how was your mom today? Yeah, no.
Yeah, so we get to the final inning and leadoff guy is an older guy and he dumps a ball in the field, dives into second, got everybody fired up. Next guy got against, so now we got first and third, there's 2 outs. And Donnie hit the walk off and gave us the national
Was it?
championship.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it makes your hair stand on end.
I was
So exciting.
I'll use
Right
the word.
now.
Yeah, right. I get the goosebumps. You're right, Kelly. Was it a jack?
He had a good ball in the gap that
In the
they
gap.
couldn't get to.
He couldn't get it and kept going.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I read that. If it's a
And
one,
I'm not saying anything, when I say that story, I'm not saying anything bad about the Saints.
no.
They
of
were
course
a
not.
well-run organization, great team, but there was a little bit of something in the back.
I'm sure that they walked off the field, and I won't use the word. I won't spell it out. I'm sure this is. Do you effing believe this just happened?
Well, they would have had to beat us twice anyway.
Right.
I
Okay.
mean, but if you win that first game, anybody
Sure.
that plays knows if you win the first one, you're not gonna be denied. the second.
Exactly. No.
In fact, when we won in '87, we had to come out of the losers bracket, play 7 games in one day.
Crazy.
And we won the national
Colleen
championship.
mentioned coming out of that bracket.
That's probably the hardest game, is the first game after a loss,
Sure.
because everybody's down and, how do you get back up there and
Yeah.
somebody comes up with a big play and everybody's back to being what they were before, so.
Yeah, no,
For
thanks,
sure.
thanks for elaborating on that. I had to ask you. There was one that was sticking in my head.
And the thrill for me at the banquet was Don was there,
Oh, he was there.
and I haven't seen him in years. And he brought his wife, and they were sitting at Mike Brady's table.
Yep.
Who was another
Yeah.
MVP guy.
And we interviewed him about 3
And
weeks ago.
when I say MVP, it's more than just his ability. The guy had character.
Yes,
That's how you build a team, by the way,
sure.
is you build a team on character people that you can rely on.
Yeah.
You got those kind of people you can't lose.
Great what you said about Brady, because the day when I met him here, I was just what an articulate guy.
Not only smart, but
Yeah.
knows how to express himself. and
Yes.
Great teammate.
Exactly.
Great teammate.
Well, I gotta ask you something, Colleen. You must love banquets. I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you by the minute you walked in here, you love banquets, because in 2019, your team goes into the hall. So you were there for that one, right? And now you go in
Nope.
as the manager. How do you compare both? Because here you're in with the team. And now you're in as the manager. I mean, was it still a couple weeks ago on October 20th? Was it still like, wow, I can't believe here's this little girl who was playing from 7 years old, Lord's High School, Lawler Park. Now you're in the hall. What goes through your mind on both?
Well, I mean, it's surreal because, it's really the girls on the team. I mean, like I said, if it
Yeah.
weren't for them, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
Right. So they're the ones that really got me into this and kept me going. And, there are times where I'm like, all right, I'm done. It's my last year. And then it would be like, oh, BS, you're not done. You're still doing it. You're coming back. And so, I mean, it's to that. It's all the credit is to the girls because they made my job easy.
Right.
They brought me, yeah. It's I don't know, I guess it's the cherry on top.
On
because
top, right.
that was like the start of it and it's.
I was gonna jump ahead, but to tell you, you want to go 400 as a team, of course.
Right.
450 games. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a lot of games,
Yeah.
But I was gonna make the joke just now. I go, what are you going in for next year?
Right.
I know, but like, I mean,
You know, it's funny because, so many girls on my team have,
sure.
over the years, they're also
Yeah.
Hall of Famers.
Hall of Famers.
So
Yes,
it's
yes,
just
yes.
nice because I think that there's still plenty of girls that are playing or have just recently stopped
Sure.
playing that I think I'll be sitting there clapping for them.
Yeah,
because
that's
they're gonna
fantastic.
be
that You're
making the Hall of
still
Fame.
giving back to the game
Yeah.
and what you've done.
Yeah. I
Jim,
love
I'm
it.
gonna ask you this. I'm gonna rattle off some names. You can tell you, I just want one answer after I rattle them off, just one. Okay? Todd Wernick, Brian Panic, Tom Cordes, Don Dobes, Joe McMahon, Stan Zil County, if I pronounce it wrong, Jimmy Rafflin, Harry Gabalik, Dave Sloboda, Jim Sirico, Tom Sirico, Gene Surzowski, Dan Godmiski, Mike Holly, Gleason, Shillelagh. In one sense, in one word, what did all these guys do?
That was the core of our team.
Yeah.
That's the original group from high school and in that time frame in the 70s where we started the Aces.
Wow.
That they were the people. That was it.
Yeah.
That's where we started.
When I saw that in the bio, I says, guy, for you to mention all these people, like Colleen has said,
Well, I
about her
would,
people.
as Colleen phrased, I wouldn't be here without those people.
Yeah.
Part of my speech were the people that were no longer with us. And those people are as important to me as anyone and what they represented for
Sure.
us. And I wanted to include them in my speech because it means so much.
Oh, sure.
What Paul and the whole
Oh.
group does here,
Yeah.
honoring every possible cross-section of people,
Right.
the way they do, and everybody's deserving, no question.
I mean,
Just a great opportunity.
sure, beautiful the way you guys both, in this 30 minutes here that we've been talking, just it always went back, how like Colleen said it, how you said it, Jim, that it was always about your teams. It wasn't about I, because I guess that's why there's no I in team, like we always say, there's something, because I always have this
Sure.
great line. If you want to do an individual sport, go play tennis or go become a boxer, and then you'll find out to figure out the way that this is how you do it. Well, I got to tell you, this is fantastic again today. We are downtown here in Forest Park at the Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame is just unbelievable. I started with this, Paul got me involved a year ago. I look forward to every Saturday and to meet both of you today again. This is fantastic. Again, you look at these resumes and the tournaments and the players and the games and everything else, just fantastic. This is a commitment. This is a life commitment. We had a gentleman on here, I forget his, I think it's Sargent Paul, I can't remember, a gentleman that his team went into the Hall of Fame, Sargent, right? Yeah, and he says it, John, he said to me that day, this is professional. Everything about softball, everything about what goes on here in this Hall of Fame is professional. I always leave it like this. I appreciate both of your time today, but reading the bios today, talking to you, getting the answers, and Colleen, I'll tell you, I don't think I would have been in your starting lineup the way you were talking. You're a toughie. For both of you, I have to tell you, you guys are part, as I always say every Saturday, of a dominating bunch, and I thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.